Hi everyone. I just want to let you know that I noticed this case on the news recently, in the last week actually. Police have got new evidence and they're looking for this girl, 15-year-old Melissa Trussell, which I knew nothing about really, but during the time her and her mother went missing, these two cars were seen in that area for a few days, possibly 3, and then gone. And police are looking now for the drivers. And I was just, given the nature of how the mother died and the young girl being taken away, it was brutal. I just decided to reach out to the family and they got back to me, and I've since been in touch with South Australian Police, and they've rang me and I've asked them to find out if these two gentlemen ever owned these two cars. Why? Because they lived a nomadic life, and this is exactly what they did at will. So that's what's happened in the last 48 hours, sorry. So it'd be interesting. But yeah, that's, I just noticed that. I know the main offender had a criminal record in South Australia, WA, Queensland and New South Wales. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully I'll get some information about that. And also, I keep getting a lot of queries about this car from December the 7th, 2001. What I can tell you is, of all the cars in Bathurst that look similar, police checked, but they didn't check this one. This one was long gone after Janine went missing. I believe in January, when the gentleman brought this car on the 17th, his mate Garth drove this one, and they both ended up in Canberra, where this lady was murdered and dumped, and then a few weeks later they ended up in Batlow. But they only arrived in Batlow in the black car. The red car was not with them. And I can't help but thinking, because the red car now, it looked old and faded apparently, when witnesses in Canberra saw it loading concrete bollards into the boot, as they put it. I believe the car had run its course. It's now been involved in 2 serious crimes, and they could not bring it over the border from Canberra into New South Wales, so it was disposed of. But we do know that they arrived in one car in Batlow, and yeah, the gentleman that owned the red car still refuses to comment on the year model and whether it was a Barina or an Astra. Of course, he's no longer in Australia, but I still believe he's the last living witness to all this and would have some information that would help police, which they've already got. So yeah, I'm still strongly believe that these guys did more than what we know of, and the descriptions keep coming up as the blonde guy being taller, and the muscular guy, the surfy guy, blonde guy, and the other guy was short. And I only found out on records the other night that in fact was the case. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the police actually find out with this. But I keep getting people sending me information in and snippets and bits and pieces. And as I said, we know the black hearse was in Cobram in March or very early April 2002, after Nima went missing, either just before or just after. The gentleman that met these two guys at Cobram Caravan Park said it was, from his memory, that it was crowded, it was full bloom picking season, so it's highly probable they went from Canberra on their way to Cobram, which is just inside the Victorian border. Stayed in Cobram for a few days, camped out by the river, he noticed, and then they went on to Batlow, being summer and fruit picking season still, and that's exactly what these guys did. So anyway, I'll leave that with you, and as soon as I get updates or any confirmation about anything, I'll be the first to shout it out. Thanks very much. Bye.